Vladimir Putin. A name synonymous with power, intrigue, and controversy. From the streets of Leningrad to the helm of the Kremlin, his journey has been nothing short of remarkable. As the president of Russia, Putin has cast a long shadow over global politics. His actions resonate far beyond Russia's borders, shaping the geopolitical landscape and influencing the destinies of nations. Putin's Russia is a complex tapestry woven from threads of strength and vulnerability, ambition and fear. He is a master strategist, a shrewd tactician, and a ruthless operator. His leadership has brought both prosperity and repression, stability and uncertainty. Understanding Putin is crucial to understanding the world today. His motivations, his methods, and his ambitions hold the key to deciphering the complexities of Russia's role in the 21st century. This is the story of Vladimir Putin, a man who has come to embody the aspirations and anxieties of a nation yearning for its place in the sun. Vladimir Putin's story begins in the grim reality of post-war Leningrad, now St. Petersburg. Born in 1952, young Putin grew up amidst the cramped communal apartments and harsh realities of Soviet life. These formative years instilled in him a sense of resilience, cunning, and ambition that would define his trajectory. Drawn to the world of espionage, Putin joined the KGB, the Soviet Union's formidable intelligence agency. He honed his skills in the shadows, learning the art of deception, manipulation, and control. His KGB years provided him with a unique perspective on power, shaping his worldview and influencing his approach to leadership. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a turning point. As the old order crumbled, Putin navigated the chaos with characteristic pragmatism. He returned to Russia, bringing with him the skills and experiences that would propel him to the center of power. The late 1990s saw Russia grappling with political and economic turmoil. It was in this climate of uncertainty that Vladimir Putin, a relatively unknown figure, emerged as a beacon of stability. Appointed prime minister in 1999, he quickly consolidated his power, capitalizing on public anxieties and a series of terrorist attacks that shook the nation. Putin's ascent to the presidency was swift and decisive. He promised order, security, and a return to greatness. His message resonated with a population weary of chaos and eager for a strong leader. Putin delivered on his promise of stability, but at a price. Under his rule, democratic institutions were systematically weakened. The media came under state control, dissent was silenced, and political opponents were sidelined or eliminated. Putin's Russia was becoming an authoritarian state, with him at its helm. Vladimir Putin is a master of image. He understands the power of perception, and has cultivated a carefully crafted persona designed to project strength, virility, and national pride. His public appearances are carefully choreographed spectacles, showcasing his physical prowess and love for the Russian outdoors. We see him fishing in remote rivers, hunting with a crossbow, and practicing judo. These images are beamed across Russia and around the world, reinforcing the image of a vigorous and decisive leader. However, behind the carefully constructed facade lies a deeply private and intensely secretive man. Putin's personal life remains shrouded in mystery. He is rarely seen with his family, and his inner circle is notoriously tight-knit. This air of secrecy only adds to his mystique, making him a figure of endless fascination and speculation. Section 5, The Bear's Claws, Putin's Foreign Policy and Global Interventions. Vladimir Putin's foreign policy has been defined by a single-minded pursuit, restoring Russia to its former glory. He views the collapse of the Soviet Union as a geopolitical catastrophe and has made it his mission to reassert Russia's dominance on the world stage. Putin's Russia is a revanchist power, seeking to reclaim its lost empire and challenge the existing world order. His actions in Ukraine and Syria are a testament to this ambition. The annexation of Crimea in 2014, and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine demonstrated Putin's willingness to use military force to achieve his strategic objectives. In Syria, Putin's intervention propped up the regime of Bashar al-Assad, securing Russia's foothold in the Middle East and projecting its power into the Mediterranean. These interventions have come at a cost. Russia has faced international condemnation, sanctions, and diplomatic isolation. Yet, Putin remains undeterred, convinced that Russia is engaged in an existential struggle against the West. His foreign policy is a high-stakes gamble, one that has reshaped the geopolitical landscape and raised the specter of conflict on a global scale. Section 6, Russia's Economic Engine, Growth and Challenges under Putin. When Putin assumed power, Russia was in economic shambles. He inherited a country reeling from the aftershocks of the Soviet collapse, plagued by corruption, poverty, and inequality. Putin's economic policies, however, ushered in an era of unprecedented growth and prosperity. High oil and gas prices, coupled with structural reforms and tight fiscal policies, fueled Russia's economic engine. The country witnessed a dramatic rise in living standards, a burgeoning middle class, and a newfound sense of confidence. However, this economic miracle was built on shaky foundations. Russia's economy remains heavily dependent on natural resources, making it vulnerable to global commodity price fluctuations. Corruption is endemic, stifling innovation and discouraging foreign investment. Moreover, Western sanctions imposed in response to Russia's actions in Ukraine have taken a toll on the economy, exposing its underlying weaknesses. Section 7. Silencing Dissent, Human Rights and Opposition Under Siege. Vladimir Putin's Russia is a country of contradictions. While it has made significant economic strides, it has done so at the expense of political freedom and human rights. Putin views any form of dissent as a threat to his rule and has cracked down on opposition figures, independent media, and civil society organizations. Journalists critical of the government have been harassed, imprisoned, or even killed. Opposition leaders have been silenced, forced into exile, or met with suspicious deaths. The space for free expression has shrunk dramatically as the Kremlin tightens its grip on information and controls the narrative. Putin's Russia is a country where fear and self-censorship have become the norm. The chilling effect of this repression is palpable, stifling creativity, innovation, and critical thinking. The human cost of Putin's pursuit of power is immeasurable. Section 8. A Polarizing Legacy, Putin's Complex Global Image. Vladimir Putin is a deeply polarizing figure. To his supporters, he is the savior of Russia, the man who restored national pride and returned the country to its rightful place on the world stage. They admire his strength, his decisiveness, and his unwavering commitment to Russian interests. To his detractors, he is an autocrat, a dictator who has crushed democracy, violated human rights, and destabilized the international order. They view him as a threat to global security, a master manipulator who uses propaganda and disinformation to sow discord and undermine Western values. Putin's legacy is complex and contested. He will be remembered as a transformative figure in Russian history, but his legacy will forever be tarnished by his authoritarianism, his aggression, and his disregard for human rights. Section 9. The Future of Russia, Uncertainty and Global Implications. As Vladimir Putin's grip on power tightens, the future of Russia remains uncertain. The country is at a crossroads, facing significant economic challenges, international isolation, and a growing sense of discontent among its population. What will become of Russia after Putin? Will it continue down the path of authoritarianism and aggression? Or will it embrace democratic reforms and reintegrate into the international community? The answers to these questions have profound implications not only for Russia, but for the world. The world watches with bated breath as Russia navigates this uncertain terrain. The stakes are high, and the consequences of Putin's legacy will continue to reverberate for generations to come.